Hello, fellow heroes. This is Sean, and welcome to Hero of the Table. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some models I got from Alternative Armies. These models are for a game called Patrol Angis. It's set in the Ion Age universe, and this particular army is the Prydian army. I've got a couple posts of troops, which is basically a squad. I have the Alpha post and the Beta post that we're going to take a look at. This game is kind of a space opera, very pulpy. It does have a pretty interesting universe. I haven't read all of the stuff for it, but what I have read is it's kind of interesting. I've enjoyed reading the history so far and look forward to reading a little bit more. Overall, the models here I think have a lot of character. I don't necessarily always go with the models that go with the games I'm playing. I have some, and I like to use whatever I've got. But these just had a lot of character, and I thought they looked pretty cool, so I wanted to get a couple. In the Patrol Angis book, there is 3 scenarios, just kind of so you can play and learn the rules, and I bought the models necessary to play those. And these are some of those. I'll show you the others in future videos. As you can see, these models, they're very, I guess they're medium armor. They have an interesting look to them. They can all have these pointy helmets. The vision slate, they really have that armored knight look. They're not mounted, of course, but they do really have that look of a traditional knight, but with a sci-fi flair. So this guy has, I believe it's called an Angus rifle, and it looks like he's got a grenade that he's throwing as well. These models also have jump packs, so they can move around the battlefield a little bit faster. Don't know exactly how those work, but I do know that they have some benefit for the game. The models in this pack, this is the Alpha pack. Most of them have that Angus rifle. There is a guy that's got an axe. One of them looks kind of like the leader. They've got like just a little data pad. Don't really have a weapon. I don't know if the rules, they won't have one, or if it's just assumed they have one. There's also a guy that has kind of a rocket launcher. I'll show you him in a minute. Overall, the models aren't bad. There is a little bit of flash. You can see here. They're not all bad. This guy, you can kind of see it here around on top of the leg there, underneath the leg. There's just that little bit of flash where the molds meet up. There's another one that has that flash kind of around the edges there. I think that'll clean up without too much problem. Yep. But it is something you got to do. It's pretty common on these metal models to have to do that, so not a huge deal. The Alpha post, they don't have a lot of problems. They're just a little bit of that flash, but that's easy to clean up. As I said, I really like the way these look. I think they'll paint up real easy, depending on what style of paint job you want to do. But let me show you the Beta post quick. Alright, here are the models from the Beta post. Same style armor. Most of them have the same Angus rifle, but a couple, they have a different heavy weapon here. With this group, has a little bit different heavy weapon. It's got one guy that is prone, which is kind of neat. Same deal. You got that flash on the models. Not a huge deal. The bottom of the bases on post 2 are not as level as the ones on the first post. It's going to take a little bit more cleanup to make them so they'll stand up. And of course, I'll base them. Not really big enough for them to stay upright, but they're going to have to be trimmed down a little bit to clean up the bases. Not a huge deal because it's the bottom of the base. Easy enough to file that or trim that down. Let's see, we got one heavy, we've got one guy that looks like it's got a pistol, and then another close combat weapon, another axe here, and the rest look like they have that same rifle. This guy looks like he's got something a little bit different. So, a couple of different varieties of weapons. This squad's actually got, looks like two heavy weapons. So it's nice that there's a variety of poses for the units, so they're interchangeable. You can buy them and mix and match the squads, so you've got the weapons that you want. And you can have a mixture of poses in your units that way as well. These are pretty reasonably priced. I believe that these are £5.50 for the post. Each post is the same price. You can buy individual models if you want, and that's kind of nice because, hey, I really like this, or I want that particular heavy weapon from that other squad, or however it is you're building your force. So that's nice that you can buy individual squad members. I've based mine on 3/4 inch washers. That's usually what I use for. I like using washers for 15mm models. These guys have a pretty wide stance, so I actually had to use bigger washers than what I normally do with my stuff, which isn't a big deal. These guys are just on a number 10. This is kind of what I normally base on. That is about a 1/2 inch base, but I ended up doing these on a 3/4 inch base just because of how they're standing. And this guy that's prone, he's not going to fit on that base. I'll have to get one a little bit bigger, or probably just have to get a little bit bigger base for him. I did paint a couple of these. I wanted to see what they look like. This is the typical colors for the Prydian army. It's white with black line. Almost kind of looks stormtrooper-ish, except for the helmets kind of throw them off a little bit. But I like the way they look. I'm pretty happy with how these turned out when I painted them. White isn't something I usually do. White can be kind of challenging to get right, but I did these and I think they looked really nice. So I'm probably going to paint this whole force in this color scheme and see how that goes. It did take a little time doing it, but I really like how it turned out. So I'm going to keep painting the whole force with this color scheme. The models I think are proportioned well. They look right. Except for this missile launcher guy. He is kneeling here, which is kind of neat, but he's kind of, I don't know. He's kneeling on his back leg, which I put in the static grass that's gonna kind of throw it off, but like his leg that's under him, it's hard to see what's what. It looks like he's got some shell casings from his weapon, his big missile launcher thing, that are laying around his feet, but it's, I don't know. You can't really see it on the table. It's not going to be a big deal. But as I was painting it, I'm like, well, is that his foot? Is that... I don't know what's going on with him. But when you put him on a table and look at him, he's going to look good. It's just if you pick him up and look, like, well, what's he doing? He's also got this big missile launcher and his arms down at his side, so I'm not really sure what he's doing there. I feel like both hands should be on the gun as he's launching it, but... not a huge deal. Again, overall I really like these models. I think they're pretty cool. They have a variety of models. They have different bikes, they have some vehicles, they have several different walkers that you can get, bigger battle suit kind of things, and those look kind of neat too, and I'll show you those in a future video, or at least a couple of them. The Patrol Angis rules, like I said, I've been reading through them but haven't gotten through them all yet. They are a kind of small skirmish infantry kind of game. There's an expansion to it that adds armored vehicles instead of just like the walkers. I haven't got into that at all, but the game does scale up. It really is set around the basis of a platoon, so about 22 models. Some of the units are 16, but it's an activation system that is based around that small scale game. From what I've read, it looks like, a platoon per player is kind of where you start at, and you can scale up as you need to. So if you're into the 15mm sci-fi games, I definitely suggest you check these guys out. They are really pretty cool models. Like I said, they are reasonably priced. Shipping's not bad. I think it was £10, and they're shipped from Scotland, I believe. I'm in the US, so I got them pretty quick. So you can let me know what you think of these models in the comments. If you've seen them before or if you've played the game, let me know what you think. I hope you found this video useful. It's fun to look at some different stuff, different models, and see what else is out there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the other projects that I'm working on and games that I'm playing, you can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, and there's links to all those in the description. And remember, you don't need to be an expert to paint your models. Even a basic paint job will make for a better game. Thanks for watching.